End of intermission. Part 2.
What else? Okay. So, remember how I mentioned during the synopsis that, like, right off the bat, like 2 minutes into the movie, in this desert scene, I've got all these questions. So, like, I've explained that, like, this is why I think, these are the plot holes. We're getting into the plot holes here. So, this is one of those things where, like, people have yelled at me. It's like, why can't you just enjoy the movie? Why can't you just go with it? Okay, so Gore and his daughter are in this desert. They are dying. They are out in this arid desert dying. He is lying on the ground next to her as she slowly passes away. And then he gets up and leaves after burying her. So, here we go. So, right off, okay, questions. I'm not so worried about where are they, but I do kind of, that is one of the questions. Where are they? How, but more accurately, more importantly is, how did they get there? What happened that they are now in this situation, that they are now in this arid wasteland in the middle of nowhere? Are they now castaways? Are they marooned on some desert planet? Were they traveling in space in their spacecraft and they crash landed there and it's just them? Is this their home world that used to be this lush, beautiful green planet that suffered some kind of natural disaster, or maybe a side effect of war or whatever, and now it's just this desolate, awful wasteland where life can't survive? How did you get into that situation? How did you get to where you are, that you are just lying in the middle of this wasteland? And so, like, she dies, and then he buries her, and then he gets up and leaves. What? Why? Like, okay, so, like, if you're the most important person in your life, you have nothing left in your life. You have just this one person, literally no possessions, no other friends, no loved ones, just this one person, and they pass away and die in the middle of a freaking desert. And you take the time to bury them. What do you do next? Like, I would think, in a situation that dark, that you would just be like, you know what, F it, I'm done. I'm just gonna lie here and wait to pass on to be with them. They got there, and I'm just gonna follow them. No, he gets up and leaves. Where is he going? What is he expecting to find in the desert? Like, he just goes wandering off. Like, maybe it's like, all right, I can't stay here next to my daughter. I'm gonna just wander. Like, even that doesn't make any sense. They just died. I would still want to be next to them. I'd still want to be there. Not leave them alone, even though they've passed on, so that I can, again, come up behind them and, like, join them. No, he just wanders off in the desert. And then somehow he finds an oasis. He just happens to find an oasis in the middle of this freaking wasteland that he didn't know was there. So, like, if he knew that was there, which he doesn't, but, like, let's say he did. Let's say he knew that was there. Why didn't he go there? Wouldn't he be like, honey, stay here. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some help. I'm going to go get some water. I'm going to get, like, a giant palm leaf just to come back and hold over you and give you shade. Something. But no, he just goes off and then finds this oasis. What? And, okay, and then he goes to the oasis, and he just happens to find his god, the deity that he worships, just happens to be there. And this guy, like I said, just happened to just kill off the guy who just happened to have the one-hit kill god weapon. And instead of, like, okay, and that's it right there, another question. Okay, so this guy just killed a guy that had, this god kills a guy who has a one-hit kill weapon. Somehow didn't get killed by the guy, but bested him and killed him. And instead of being like, all right, we should take this weapon and, like, destroy it, or we should, like, bury it, or like, hide it away somewhere, put it in a vault, drop it in the ocean so that it can never get found again. No, they just leave it there. Just, I killed him, I leave it there, all right, let's party. There's a body over there with a dangerous weapon. Yeah, it's fine. We're going to party. And then when Gore shows up, first the guy laughs, and he's like, my lord, what happened, man? Like, all of us are dead, and, like, my daughter's dead, and, like, we pray to you. And the guy's like, puny mortal. Just, like, laughs in his face, which, I'm not gonna fight about that, because if you look through classic Greek mythology, the gods are dicks. They are. So, like, a god being a dick, that's not, that's par for the course. That's exactly how it should be, honest, in this regard. But, so this guy is in his face face. Like, oh, look at this guy. His daughter freaking died, and like he's pathetic, and he's all like sunburnt, and man, you're gonna be peeling for days, man. Sucks to be you. And the guy's like, and Gor's like, I don't get it, man. Like, we worship you. In fact, actually, dude, I'm the last one. And contrary to how other mythos, legends, stories, TV shows, movies go, in this case, if you like in typically in stories and everything, the more followers you have, the more worshipers you have, the more powerful you are as a god. All the adulations, the prayers, the sacrifices are made to you, and people believe in you, and you are more powerful because of that. Whereas this guy's just got Gore, the one guy left, and he seems to be still pretty healthy. He's like, what? I don't care. Other people will worship me. You can just die. Wow. Just like, oh, and also he tells the guy, oh yeah, by the way, and Gore's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, we're throwing a party because I just killed that guy who has a weapon that can kill me. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And so, yeah, like right off the bat in this movie, all these questions that go unanswered, never answered. And again, people be like, why can't you just go with it? I can't. Like, I need 2 + 2 = 4. How did this guy get here? Oh, he's just there. He's on a desert planet in the middle of nowhere by himself with just his daughter with literally nothing around, and they just happen to find this oasis. I need an explanation. This needs to have a reason behind it. I can't just go with it. What else? Okay, so I've already kind of talked about in the synopsis how time, like there is no rush in this movie. I mean, there is. The first act of this movie is just rushed through. Like you feel like you're just being rushed through. They do not spend very long on any scene. It's like, here's Thor, here's the Guardians. And all the Guardians except for Star-Lord have like one line. And but like all together, like that scene's like 2.5 minutes long, 2-3 minutes long. And then they're gone. That's it. They're just gone from the movie. And he meets Sif, and Sif's like, "Oh, you gotta go to Earth." And then we go to CJ. "Oh, I've got cancer." And then she goes to New Asgard. "Oh, look, there's the hammer." And then we fast forward to all of this is to fast forward. We're shoved in this. We're just thrown in our face that we have to like shove down our throat, that we have to understand these points so that the rest of the movie can happen. Which is like we're trying to rush through all of this stuff so that we can get to Lady Thor. Again, I'm not calling her the Mighty Thor. To get to Lady Thor. And then have the movie continue from there. So Thor finally gets his ass to New Asgard after like 2-3 days, whatever, after finding Sif. And even that scene they couldn't take seriously. And they fight these shadow beasts, and at the end of the fight, Gore runs away, and he kidnaps all the kids. And so Heimdall's kid, the son of Idris Elba's character, who can telepathically talk to people over great distances, calls up Thor. And like, "Thor, help!" It's like, "Hey, we need help." And then Thor's like, calls him by his name, and the guy's like, "No, my name's Axel, because I listen to Guns N' Roses, and that's a cool name." And Thor's like, "I'm not calling you that. That's not what your dad named you." Again, just got kidnapped, and they're debating. They are debating over telepathy after getting kidnapped by shadow beasts. They are arguing. This child is arguing with Thor over his freaking name. And actually, at one point when Thor's like, "I'm not going to call you that," he's like, "Fine, I don't need to talk to you." And is about to hang up on a distress call, on a call for help. "Help us! We just got kidnapped by shadow beasts and a crazy guy that looks like he's from Gods of War with a bad sunburn." "Oh, never mind. I don't need to." Like it just doesn't. There is no seriousness in this movie. It's stupid. Kids just got kidnapped, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to hang up on this call for help." No, they're not scared. He's flippant. He's flippant and condescending to this adult, to this god, and it's just so it's inappropriate, honestly, in that situation, and it's just stupid. Like, how am I supposed to take this movie any kind of serious whatsoever when that's what you throw in my face? What else? Right. So Gore's master plan. Gore's master plan is that he wants to kill all the gods. Now, how do I do this? Well, I've got this sword that can just one-hit kill all these gods. So I'm just going to go from planet to planet to planet. How? How does he get there? Well, he does have powers from the sword. The sword like gives him shadow powers, which allows him to just teleport across the universe. I don't know how. It's never explained. But yeah, Gorr can go from realm to realm, planet to planet, anywhere where there's shadows. He can go there. Which, okay, so why? And all right, moving on. So he can transport wherever. We know he can. And so he's just going to go around killing all these gods. But instead, at some point, he learns two things that are not commonplace knowledge, that are not household knowledge. First one is that Stormbreaker can create its own Bifrost. Now, we know that as the audience. We know that Stormbreaker is a thing, and that Stormbreaker can create these bridges, these rainbow bridges to other realms. How does he know this? Again, this isn't something that's just advertised to everybody that, you know, plenty of people know it, but it's not worldwide known and it's not universally known. Again, Gorr is on some planet, someplace on the other end of the galaxy, maybe not even in this realm, and he somehow learns about this axe that can open these bridges. So he's like, you know what? I need that axe. So how do I get that axe? Well, Thor has the axe, so how do I do that? Instead of just sneaking up out of Thor's shadow and just stealing it, or just stabbing Thor in the back with the Necro sword, he develops this super complex plan, and it's never really revealed if it comes before or after he attacks New Asgard. Like, it's kind of implied that he goes to New Asgard to steal the to steal the axe, and that Thor just happens to be there, and like he runs away and he just decides to kidnap these kids. Because his plan is like, all right, if I kidnap these kids, that'll make Thor come to me. I guess so he can get the drop on them. But again, and so like he's like, I need the axe to open a gateway to eternity, which is this thing that can grant wishes. And this plan that I just explained to you is so complex. I need to grab the axe to open a gate to eternity. So complex is this plan that he has to write it down. No, he has to, like I said, draw it out on poster board and just put it up. And then Jane finds it and she's like, oh my god, it's a trap! And like we, the audience, only know about Gorr's plan because of how badly this was exposition. This was non-spoken exposition, but this was stupid. This would not happen. He would not write this down. The plan doesn't have that many details. You don't need to make a plan. It's got 2 steps. Steal axe, go to eternity. That's it. Why was it written down? So that the audience can figure it out, because God forbid we actually write a good script. Let's see, what else? Okay. So the scene with eternity, where it's just this thing that looks like a sitting Buddha almost, only like it's galaxy stars covered. And all you have to do is touch eternity, and it grants you any one wish. So this whole scene is just stupid. Because, okay, if eternity exists, which it does, why didn't we use that during Infinity Wars? Why didn't somebody just, instead of trying to wipe out Thanos manually, like combat-wise, melee-wise, why didn't Thor just open up a gate to, because he knows about this. This isn't a thing that's like a question. Like, he knows about this. People know about eternity. It's a thing. And so he's like, why don't you just open up a gate to eternity, go open up a bridge to eternity, and go to eternity and just wish Thanos away? Why didn't we do that? Well, I mean, in terms of movies, the movie wouldn't exist to that, but I mean, that's part of the problem, especially in Marvel Phase 4, is that there's all this stuff that's being added on that you're like, wow, why didn't we use this during Thanos? Including, all the heroes that were just, that have been added in the last, 5 or 6 movies. And it even comes up in those movies, like in the movie The Eternals. Why, they even asked, somebody asked, where were you during the whole thing with Thanos and the Infinity Wars?
We came here 7,000 years ago. to protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, or all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
That's so... No! F you, man! F you! No! Man, go f yourself. So, and that's another thing. Remember I talked about the canonical inconsistencies? So, in the Eternals, they established that all the mythical characters, Icarus, and I can't think of any others, but any mythological character, gods, deities, that they don't exist, and that they were inspired, that our ancient civilizations and histories are inspired by these robots. The Eternals are robots, if you don't know, that they inspired the creations of those myths and legends. And then we go to Thor, Love and Thunder, where no, all the gods are real. So in one movie it's like, yeah, gods don't exist, we made them up, and then the other one's like, no, they're all real. They're literally all real. So two movies that contradict each other. That's one. Also in Thor 3, Gorg talks about his mom and his boyfriend, and then in this movie he's like, yeah, my two dads. But also in the last movie he's like, we're genderless. So, I don't know. Like this it's bullshit that they can't keep their own story straight. What was I talking about? Right, eternity. So aside from the fact that we could have gone to eternity whenever. Oh yeah, and like the gods in Mount Olymp in Omnipotent City, which again is common knowledge to gods. It's a gods only club. So Thor knew about this. I don't know why he didn't run and get them during Infinity War. We could have used them. Also the fact that Thor can just turn anybody into Thor. Again, at one point he turns the kids into Thor. Like, I bestow the power of Thor on you. Why didn't you do that to like the Wakandans? Like when you show up in Wakanda or like anywhere at any point during the Infinity Wars, why didn't you, or like, do it to Tony. To Tony Stark, give Iron Man, give Captain America, give Black Widow, Hawkeye, give everybody the power of Thor. Why did you not do this against Thanos? I'm spitting now. I get into it, I get into it deep. This is why I'm film crazy, Adam. Where was I? Right. So, I've been going on for a minute. So let me wrap this up and say this, that like, when it comes to eternity, so you've got this one, so they go into this realm, and Gore, who is mortally wounded, he's like, I gotta do this, I gotta complete my mission, I gotta wish all the gods dead. And Thor, who is not injured, he might be a little bit winded, but he is not injured, whereas Gore is mortally wounded. Like, all Thor has to do is, like, kick him, and he would die. And instead, he's like, he doesn't run up to him, he doesn't stop him, he's like, you know what? And he gives him, like, a love and friendship speech, and then goes and Gore's even like, aren't you going to stop me? And he's like, no, I'm going to go over with my girlfriend who I rekindled my romance with, who's about to die anyway. I'd rather spend the last few seconds before you wish me dead with my girlfriend who's about to die than stop you. Like, Thor could also like run up and be like, I wish that this guy, I wish that this guy was dead, you know. I wish the Necro Sword was never a thing. I wish all the gods back to life. You know, or you can do like what Thanos did with the stones the second time around, which is like, I wish that eternity didn't exist. And just like wish the guy away so that you couldn't make any wishes. But instead, he's like, you should wish your daughter back. Not like, you know what you should do? You should wish yourself back to when you and your daughter were happy, so that Gore could go back in time to when he was happy with his daughter. Instead, he's like, you should wish your daughter back to life. Why? He's about to die. What is that going to do other than now you've orphaned a girl? And like, Gore even questions him. He's like, I'm about to die. He even like does it. He's like, well, I'm about to die, so like I don't see the point. And between Jane and Thor and Gore, it's like, well, if you wish her back, Thor will take care of her. And Thor's like, I will? Oh, yeah, no, I will. And he does. And then Gore dies. Like, that whole scene with Eternity, it's like, everything about it was stupid. There's a million ways that could have gone differently, and it did that instead. Why? I don't know. Post-credit scene said that, like, Thor will return, so he's not gone. And he's got a kid now who goes with him on missions now. I don't know if you'd call them missions, but, like, the last scene in the movie is, like, him going to beat up, to engage in battle against some army. And the girl goes with her. Because the girl, for some reason, has the powers of a god now. Never explained. Thor didn't bestow his power on her. She just does. So many things, not explained, makes no sense. And you're like, how did that happen? So that's why this is a bad movie. Because you can go through almost every scene and be like, why did that happen? The thing with Mjolnir, how... Okay, so this is stupid. Stupid on so many levels that it contradicts itself. So, Jane reads in a book written by some human somewhere. She's like, according to this, like, Mjolnir has health benefits. It increases blood flow and, lowers your cholesterol and stuff. I bet this will cure my cancer. So her idea is to, like, I'm going to go to New Asgard and just... she had no plan after that. She claims that, it called me... At some point it called me. No, she has no plan. It's just like, I'm just going to go there. And the whole thing where Thor, like, absent-mindedly, like, talks to his hammer, that's another stupid thing in this movie, is that never before have either the axe or the hammer had personalities, but now they do. Now they're sentient. And, like, the axe is jealous of Thor because Thor's, like, sees the hammer back together and is like, oh, like an ex-girlfriend, like, two girlfriends, like, the ex and the not ex. And it's jealous. What am I watching? What am I watching where magic hammers and axes are, like, now jealous of each other? Oh, God, what else? I just had something and it escaped me. Dang it. I guess I'll talk more about the hammer. Maybe I'll remember. But so, the hammer, for whatever reason, like, it's never explained in the movie, but, like, I think, like, by fans, it's like, well, because Jane has cancer, it thinks she's worthy for some reason. Or before, like, the hammer was too busy to protect Jane. Like, evidently, it's never defined, like, what does that mean by protect Jane? Because it sucks her life out when she uses it, but it decides to coalesce and come back together for her, but it doesn't help her. And, it obviously didn't help her enough to not let her get cancer. I'm pretty sure for a magical weapon, that would have been really easy to be like, oh, she's got cancer. Let's just nip that in the bud. But no, it decides to work for her for reasons that are never explained. And like I said, it's, it protects her, but it's also killing her. And it didn't protect her enough to stop her from getting cancer. Like, there's just so much crap about that stupid hammer and about that scene. It's just so bad. And now I'm just going to take a random shot at Tessa Thompson, which I thought she was good in Thor 3, but she's not. She's not a great actress. She's not. If you've seen Men in Black International, she's one of those people that can't act. She just plays herself. She plays one character, which is a person with resting bitch face, who, for whatever reason, in every movie she's, like, better than all the men. She's just condescending as hell. It worked in Thor 3 because, she was a loner and she was angry and a drunk all the time, so it worked. And then you found out after that movie that that's the only character she can play. It's kind of like, I think his name is Sam Worthington from Avatar. Like, when he was in that Terminator movie, that was like his breakout role when he was in a Terminator movie, and he was great in that movie. And then you found out, wait, no, that's the only character he plays. And he was the same in Clash of the Titans. He was the same in Avatar. And I think he was a little bit better in, what's that movie? Hacksaw Ridge. But, like, honestly, he's not. He plays himself. But anyway, okay, so now, before I get into rambling, which I am about to just dive both feet in on this one, I'm going to end it there and say, okay, so that's my thoughts on Thor Love and Thunder and why I think it's a stupid movie. It's a bad movie. Don't recommend seeing this. I don't recommend seeing anything Marvel-wise after Endgame other than No Way Home. So I'm really bad at ending videos because like I just kind of ramble on, kind of like I'm doing now. But my throat's kind of getting dry from talking so long. But anyway, I'll end it there and I'll say I don't really have a sign off yet, do I? Well, I'll end it here and I'll see you guys next week. How about that?